tree.
We wassail thee, and hoping there will bear hatfuls, capfuls, 3 bushel bagfuls, and a little under the stairs.
Hip hip!
Hooray!
Hip hip!
Hooray!
Here we come a-wassailing among the leaves of green. Here we come a-wandering so fair to be seen. Love and joy come to you your wassail too. And God bless you and send you a happy new year. And God send you a happy new year. We are not daily beggars that beg from door to door, but we are neighbours' children who you have seen before. Love and joy come to you your wassail too. And God bless you and send you a happy new year. And God send you a happy new year.
Christmas time, as we know it, grew out of ancient ritual celebrations which were intended to put new life into the dead earth and to cheer our peasant ancestors through the deep midwinter nights. Here and there, the old festivities still survive. On Christmas Eve, the inhabitants of Dunster, on the northern edge of Exmoor, keep up the once widespread custom of burning the ashen faggot, which for generations past they've celebrated in the 14th century village inn.
Call up the master of this house, put on his golden ring. Bring us in a glass of beer and better we shall sing.
Ash faggot burning is associated with the Saxons. It was one among many pagan customs which were absorbed into the Christian Christmas festival as the early church extended its influence over country life.
I see their troubled mind, glad tidings of great joy. To you and all mankind, to you and all mankind. I hear along our street pass the minstrel throng. Hark, they play so sweet on their upward Christmas song. Let us by the fire
The wood of the ash tree has the unusual property of burning brightly when it is still green. In the old mythology, the ash was the tree of life, and at midwinter, quantities of liquor would be consumed in drinking toasts as the ashen faggot burned.
in December rings every day the chimes. Loud the gleemen sing in the streets their merry rhymes.
The very word wassail is a toast. In the Old Norse language, it meant literally, be healthy. Something of this significance can still be traced in the landlord's free Christmas punch, but the main emphasis of Ashen Faggot Night in Dunster long ago shifted to the singing of the village's own local carols.
He by the fireside stands his foot and sings, but he who blows his hand, not so gay a carol brings. Let us by the fire ever higher, sing until the night expires, sing until the night expires. We wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and a Happy New Year, and a Happy New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
No!
26th of December, St. Stephen's Day, and near Listowel in County Kerry, the Wren boys have come out for the day to rouse the country from its Christmas lassitude with songs, dance and stirring music.
Who's there for it? Jimmy and Marcy and
The Wren boys derive their name from the custom of hunting the wren, which is still remembered in Wales as well as Ireland. The wren was regarded as the king of the birds. In Ireland, he was hunted down to be suspended from a furze bush, which was carried at the head of the Wren boys' procession as they made their way across the countryside, visiting farms and villages, till, at the end of the day, they would bury him, with all the ceremony befitting a king. The music and the costumes are all that remain of the old hunting the wren, and the ostensible motive for the visits to farms is now a collection for charity. But the occasion is as hearty as ever.
Charlotte, we're happy. Now that you've been making your way out, we'll collect the door.
Years ago, the families who donated money, or more likely drink, were presented with a feather of the wren in exchange. And it's said that by the end of the day, exhausted groups of wren boys could be seen staggering through the dusk, bearing totally bald wrens before them. The final call is at the Quiet Man Bar, where the captain of the Wren boys calls for attention with a chant which still recalls, the wren, the king of all birds.
Okay. The wren, the king of all birds. St. Stephen's Day he was cutting the furs. Up with the kettle and down with the pan. We are here to gather some money for the wren. Right. Music. Now we are not with company. Come on, man.
And to round off the day, they persuade Jack Carroll to give them The Boys of Banashrada, the ballad of an Irish exile recalling the friends of his childhood who went a-hunting for the wren.
When the town climbed the mountain and looked upon the sea, in waking time or sleeping is there I'd long to be, to walk again the kindly streets where first my life began, with the boys in Banashrada,
Good man, Jack.
with cordial stout, we roamed about to hunt the small rodin. We searched for boars in every forest, from Litter to Dunin. We jumped for joy beneath the sky, life held no print or a plan. We boys in Banashrada, hunting a farmland. And now the child in foreign soil, where they have gone their way, deep in the heart of London town, or over in Broadway. Sure I am left to sing their deeds and praise them while I can. The boys of Banashrada, hunting a farmland.
Boxing Day morning at Marshfield in Gloucestershire. The parade of the old-time paper boys, the dozen characters of the Marshfield Mummers play. It's likely that their paper costumes developed from earlier disguises of leaves or grass, and the play itself from a distant folk drama which acted out the death and rebirth of the natural world each winter. The words of the play in their passage from generation to generation have been garbled into doggerel nonsense, without ever quite losing their underlying sense of ritual purpose.
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. I have much pleasure in introducing the celebrated Marshfield Mummers, the old-time paper boys. God save the Queen.
In comes I, old Father Christmas. Christmas or Christmas not. I hope old Father Christmas will never be forgot. Christmas comes but once a year, then we generally get good cheer. Roast beef, plum pudding, and mince pie. Who likes that better than King William and I? Aye! Rome, a gallant room, I say. If little man John is in this room, let him step this way.
In comes I, little man John. If anyone defy me, let him come on. Cut me and slay me as small as the dust, and send me to Jamaica to be made into minced pie crust. Room, a gallant room, I say. If King William is in the room, let him step this way.
In walks I, King William, a man of courage and bold. With my sword and spear all in my hands, I gained 3 crowns of gold. I fought the fiery dragon and brought him to the slaughter. And by the means of that, I gained the hand of the Queen of Europe's daughter. Me and 4 more slew 7 score and gained a victory on the British man of war. But thy mind's high, my mind's bold, thy blood's hot, I'll quickly make it cold. Room, a gallant room, I say. If Jack Phoenix is in this room, let him step this way.
My name is not Jack Phoenix, my name is Dr. Phoenix, a noble doctor. I can cure more than any man can. Bring me an old woman, 7 years dead, 7 years lying in her grave. 1 pill from me, and this gallant boy will rise again.
What's thy fee, doctor?
£10 is my fee, for 15 I'll take of thee to set this lad free.
Worth thy will.
I have a little bottle down by my side filled with the old English turpentine. I place a drop on his lips, a drop on his thigh. Arise, little man John. I long to see thee stand. Open thine eyes and look around. I'll take thee by the hand. Room, a gallock room, I say. If Saucy Jack is in the room, let him step this way.
In walks I, Saucy Jack, my wife and family, at me back. Out of 8, I have but 5, and half of they be starved alive. Some on the parish and some at home. Where I go, the rest must come. Make room, I say. If Tenpenny Net is in this room, let him step this way.
In walks I, Tenpenny Net, with my big head and my little wit. My head is big, my body small. I'm the biggest rough amongst them all. My head is hard as iron, my body hard as steel. My trousers touch my ankle bone. Pray, doctor, come and fill.
Ha! I certainly feel something hard. You're a rubber blackguard.
Room, I cannot room, I say. If Father Beelzebub is in this room, let him step this way.
In comes I, old Father Beelzebub. On my shoulder, I carry my club, and in my hand my money pan. What do you think of me for a jolly old man? A little of your Christmas ale would make us boys dance and sing. A little of your money in our pockets would be a jolly fine thing. Ladies and gentlemen, sit down at your ease and give us what you please.
Peace of a noble Welshman, I heard the people say, as I rode up to London all on St. David's Day. Fa-la-la, 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 did I go? Hi, 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 the people cry, will concern a king, seated on a nanny goat just like a Christmas king. Fa-la-la, 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 did I go?
The week after Christmas, the Vale of Glamorgan and the South Wales valleys are haunted by a figure out of Celtic mythology. Accompanied by a motley crew of revellers, Mary Lwyd, the Grey Mare or Grey Mary, descends on isolated farms to exact tribute in the form of hospitality. This is New Year's night at Cefn Lwyd, in the hills above Abertridor. In theory, a household can refuse entry to Mary Lwyd and turn her away. But the ostler, the sergeant, the Betsy, and the rest of her crew know all the tricks they need to get past locked doors. The Mary's song is a form of challenge to those inside the house to compete with her in improvising further verses to the song. Should the Mary fail to counter a reply, in theory, she'll have to go away. So if the house party have a shrewd idea who their challengers are outside the door, they will throw in a few personal jibes to add spice to the exchanges, and give themselves the advantage of surprise.
Hiw y teca o ferched mi wranta, hiw y teca o ferched mi wranta, ar gorau am ddiota, ar gorau am ddiota, ar gorau am ddiota, gael chweled. Mae'n rhaid I yn rhewi ar randal yn meddwi. Mae'n rhaid I yn rhewi ar randal yn meddwi. So'i geiriau fenodli, so'i geiriau fenodli, so'i geiriau fenodli nos heno. O heio, gwrw, a digon, a gwrw, eich meddwi yn ilw, eich meddwi yn ilw, eich meddwi yn ilw, nos gyfan. A ddowch i'r golau y geli, I weld a wasel yn ddiaeth, nid o'n Hei! Safon yn gwych a'i gwmni, a nôl o li, a drydloedd mai eto I, gwych wastad gondra'r Christi. What is it?
Under cover of the rough and tumble, all the marriage companions are able to slip into the house and join the private party inside, where the shouts and roars of fighting off the monster soon give way to cries of Happy New Year. The visit of the Mary Lwyd is an elaborate regional version of the visiting wassail, which still occurs in its simplest form at Drayton, in southern Somerset, on the night of January the 5th.
There was an old man, and he had an old cow, and how for to keep it he could not tell how. He built up a barn to keep his cow warm, for no harm, boys, harm. No harm, boys, harm, and a cup of good liquor will do us no harm. The missus and master were sitting by the fire, not thinking we poor travellers were travelling in the mire. Come fill up our bowl, and we'll be gone from here.
A true wassail bears only a surface resemblance to the more staid habit of carol singing. The Drayton wassailers meet only on this one night of the year and sing nothing but their own local wassail song. Soon after opening time, they set out from the village pub to tramp their way around the important houses of the parish, returning in the small hours spattered with mud and all the merrier for drink.
Until another year, for it's yours.
They strictly prohibit knocking on doors, which might smack of begging, and they always end their song with a formal toast to the household, delivered by a wassailer of half a century's standing, the stalwart Charlie Showers.
God bless Master and Mrs. and all the family, wishing you a happy Christmas, a bright and prosperous New Year. and many of them.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
You're in good voice tonight. Come in and have one.
Thank you very much.
Like the song itself, the jokes that come out on wassail night are as old as the hills and the same every year. It's the familiarity that produces the laugh.
There was a chap, see, he was going with a servant down the vicarage. Of course, he noticed on the morning, see, the vicar was gone to church. He said, Mary, he said, you're Mary, he said, what have them got cooking today? Oh, he said, got sheep's head and 5 dumplings in there. I said, that's just a job.
On January the 6th, the day before the traditional return to work on the land, the Isle of Axholme in Lincolnshire brings forth the most violent of the midwinter rituals, the Haxey hood game, which begins soon after midday with 2 hours of drinking songs to work up a sufficient head of steam for the swaying of the hood later in the day. The game is governed by the Lord of the Hood, who carries a wand made of 13 willows. He also has 13 assistants, a fool, and 12 strong men known as boggans. Towards 3 o'clock, the fool is seized and borne to a stone by Haxey Church, where he must first make a speech and then be smoked or purified by fire.
My lords, ladies and gentlemen, we're gathered here today to play the ancient game of Haxey Hood. First of all, there's entertainment in the hall tonight. I don't tell you what, because there's a man with 3 stripes watching. Now, lads, when you get on that field, and let's stress this is a sway hood, not a running hood. The running hoods are the sack hoods. And make sure you let that known up there, because once this breaks, or if anybody starts running, you know what's going to happen.
It's dead.
It's dead. That is a sway hood.
Standing in the smoke, the fool cries out the ritual words, which always go with the throwing of the hood.
Right! It's house again house! Tone again tone! If they meet a man, knock him down, but don't nut him!
The house against house, town against town, with the fool's rhyme, refer to Haxey, in the next village of Westward Side, separated only by the field where the game begins. First of all, 12 running hoods made of sacking have to be thrown.
Get back off of me. Go on. Get back.
This is the light-hearted stage of the game before the real rough stuff begins.
Right. It's house again house, tone again tone. If thou makes a man, knock him down, but don't touch him.
The running hoods are thrown mainly for the young boys. The adult boggans try to block their attempts to carry the hood off the field into the village, and there's a prize for any lad who succeeds.
If thou makes a man, knock him down. Don't
Once the leather sway hood is thrown, the character of the game changes dramatically. Within the sway are contingents of men from all the pubs in and around Haxey and westward side, all bent on forcing the sway first into their home village and then into their particular pub, where the hood will remain as a trophy till next year. So many tons of muscle and bone are slow to move, and when night falls, there are usually several hours of mighty pushing and shoving still to go. The hood has gone to the Duke William, and the victory, this time, to the men of Haxey, over westward side. First Sunday after 12th night is Plough Sunday, when a special service was always held to mark the new beginning of work in the fields. At St Mary's Church in Goatland on the North Yorkshire moors, they still bless the plough.
Reverend Sir, at the beginning of the New Year's work, we desire you to ask God's blessing upon the labours of the land workers of this parish, for which this plough is a sign and a token.
My brothers, this will I gladly do, with hearty prayer to Almighty God, for his favour and goodness towards us. God speed the plough and the ploughman, the farm and the farmer, machine and beast and man. God speed the plough, in fair weather and foul, in success and disappointment, in rain and wind, in frost and sunshine. God speed the plough. God speed the plough.
On Plough Monday, the ploughboys would pull a plough around the parish and perform sword dances and a mummers play at all the farms and large houses. If they got no reward, they would plough up the front lawn of the offending house. Not all the members of the present sword dance team are farm workers, and the event has been moved to the following Saturday. But their very name, the Goatland Plough Stots, links them to their agricultural past. For a stot was a bullock which was used to pull the plough, and they still take a toy plough with them to this day. There are 3 dance teams who join together for a collective performance in the centre of Goatland at the start of the day, and then split up to tour the area. First call for the number 1 team is a performance for Mrs. Schofield, landlady for 49 years of the Birch Hall Inn in Beckhall. The fishing port of Burghead on the Moray Firth on the night of January the 10th. This is the clavy crew, an exclusive, hereditary group of men who are charged with preparing for the most important event in Burghead's year, the burning of the clavy.
Up on me, Steve.
Okay, drop low.
The clavy itself is half a tar barrel, fixed to a pole with one long handmade nail, driven home with a boulder. Staves from a smaller barrel are added for supports, and the clavy is ready for use the following night, when, at 6 o'clock, the crowd gathers by the manse wall to await the arrival of James Mackenzie, the clavy king, who comes bearing a sod of burning peat. The clavy has been filled with more pieces of barrel, soaked in plenty of tar, and it's now ready to be lit with the glowing peat. silver cup of whisky is passed round the clavy crew to brace them against the arduous task ahead, once the clavy is thoroughly ablaze. The clavy's route follows the boundaries of the old town and never varies. There are certain prescribed buildings where it always stops, and where a piece of the clavy is handed over as a talisman for the year ahead. Tribute is paid to the house, not the occupant, and it's paid every year, whoever may be living there. At strategic points, the clavy crew have placed dumps of tar and diesel oil to refuel the clavy along the way. The fully charged clavy weighs more than 200 weight, and between them, the crew will have carried it a mile or more before they reach Dory Hill at the end of the town. The date of burning the clavy, January the 11th, is an intriguing one, since this kind of fire festival properly belongs to New Year's Eve. In fact, Burghead has 2 New Year's Eves. For when the British government shifted the calendar by 12 days in 1752, the people of Burghead continued blithely on with the old system. And so it is that 12 days after December the 31st, they are still celebrating Old Hogmanay.
Watchet Swain Street, a jolly old shipmate, a chance for to meet. Hello, brother sailor, you're welcome to home. In season to watch it, I think you are called.
Inland from Watchet, on the Bristol Channel coast, lies one of the traditional cider-producing areas of the West Country. And it's here, on January the 17th, that the latest of the midwinter rituals occurs. The Tar family of Crampton, who keep the Butcher's Arms, are the last remaining celebrants of the ceremony of wassailing the apple trees.
Let's go wassailing! Come on now, let's have you!
When the orchard of the Butcher's Arms was sold for building land, the wassail seemed doomed to extinction. But for the moment it lives on, a pace down the road, the last example of a custom which was once regarded as simple, good husbandry, since it was essential to the growth of a good crop of cider apples. The purpose of the wassail is to honour the oldest tree as the representative of the orchard, to frighten evil spirits away with gunshots, and to tempt good spirits into the branches with offerings of toast, soaked in hot cider and ginger, a seasonal concoction to preserve wassailers against the cold.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to carry on and I'll sing the old blessing of the tree if I can get it down. I better have a little drop of that this here first. Not enough ginger, who put it in, Leslie? Well, anyway, then, gentlemen. Old apple tree, we wassail thee, and hoping thou would bear. For the Lord doth know where we shall be till apples come another year. For the farewell and to the gloom well, so merry let us be. Let every man take off his hat and shout out to the old apple tree. Old apple tree, we wassail thee, and hoping thou will bear. Apples, apples, 3 bushel bagfuls, and a nearly bundle of stairs. Hip, hip, hooray! Hip, hip, hooray! Here's for the good spirits, gentlemen. Here's for the good spirits.
Here we go, wassailing among the leaves of green. Here we go, a wonder, it's a fair to be seen. Love and joy come to you your wassail too. And God bless you and send you a happy new year. And God send you a happy new year. God bless the master of the house, the mistress also, and all the little children that round the table go. Love and joy come to you your wassail too. And God bless you and send you a happy new year. And God send you a happy new year. And all your kid and kittens folk that dwell both far and near, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a happy